Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. So it will depend on the place where you are located this time. Or there is a place where it is night, midnight. There is a place where it is midday. There is a place where it is the morning. There are other places where you can find them evening. So today we've got very many articles, but let's talk about like 3 articles, not more than that. We are going to discuss about the Russian Navy Day, which happened yesterday. This was 28th July 2024, of course. We are talking about Venezuela elections and some demonstrations that came after that. We are also discussing about something like Erdogan, that president of Turkey. He has given some speech yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday, but Saturday, where he said that he may invade Israel and go to Gaza, on the behalf of Palestinians. So we are talking about also Viktor Orban. This is a man we've been discussing about very many times, simply because of what he's been doing in recent days. Yes, so let's have a go at this. Well, thank you. This is Tawal, the Africa we all love. The Africa we all love. How should the Africa we all love be? This is the Africa which is prosperous. That Africa that we hope to see developed and to see prosperous to every one of ours, to our children, to our grandchildren in the future. Yes, that is what it means. Tawal, Africa. Tawal, the Africa we all love. So let's attack our first topic on our first article. It's an article you can find in many newspapers, including those ones in the Western world. That is of course an article saying or talking about Russian Navy Day. Actually, Russian Empire, Imperial Russia, has invented or founded its navy in October 1696. In 1696, it was in October, and it was under the Tsar called Peter the Great, the one that St. Petersburg was named after. So let's talk about this day. It was yesterday, 28th of July. I wonder the reason why it wasn't held, or it wasn't kept to be held in October, as their navy was invented in that month of 1696. As I have been saying, it was under Peter the Great. He was a Tsar. Now, let me talk about this day yesterday. It was a day which was really attended by many navies around the world, especially the allies of Russia. The allies of Russia have sent their navies in that day to celebrate that day. Of course, the parade was okay, and many other celebrations which were held in St. Petersburg. It was held in St. Petersburg, where they had more than 200 warships and war boats. So it is a day in which the Russian President Vladimir Putin has given a very strong message to the Western world regarding the American and German plan to do what? To send American long-range missiles on German soil. It is the announcement that was made in recent months or weeks, if I'm not wrong, that America will have deployed their nuclear weapons, long-range missiles in Germany by 2026. So when Vladimir Putin was speaking about that in his speech of the day, he said that he gave a very strong message to the Western world that Russia will take countermeasures, and there will be mirror measures. Of course, when someone talks about those mirror measures, they are the measures that are similar to what you've done. So if America is going to deploy their weapons in Germany, that means in Europe, then Russia has the right or reserves the right to do the same. Now, this made very many people wonder where or which countries that Russia may be deploying their weapons in. So the Russian Federation, as it is named officially, has very many friends who are, of course, some of the enemies of, or let me not call them enemies, but probably, let me say, they are not good friends with the Western world, or let me talk about NATO and American world. These are just like countries like Cuba, countries like Vietnam, countries like North Korea, countries like, there are many, like China. And I would say that Russia has also a very good understanding with China, India, and very many other countries of BRICS. BRICS, remembering that BRICS stands for Brazil, India, China, or Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And this is an organization which is an alternative to G7. It is an economic integration, but which is somehow also political, even if they don't admit it, but that's how it seems, or that's how it looks like. So that is what Vladimir Putin had to say yesterday in his speech, where he said that if this plan goes on, the plan between USA and Germany to deploy long-range missiles to Germany, if that plan goes on, that Russia will take countermeasures, and those countermeasures will be mirror measures. So mirror measures, I've told you what it means. It means we will do the same, similar to what you've done. So this means that Russia will have to deploy their weapons also to other countries which are, of course, somehow enemies, or let me say adversary to USA and their allies. Now let me go through this day in deep. It's a day where they had, as I said, there were more than 200 Navy ships or warships and boats coming from different countries, of course, that are friendly countries to Russia. And of course, the main navy was from Russia, and there were, of course, some ships from China, ships from India, ships from warships from Algeria, warships from South Africa, warships from Belarus, and some other countries that are friendly to Russia. And as you have been seeing it, it's they have been showing us very many different flags, national flags, that represent the number of navies that were there yesterday. So the parade was so interesting. It was a very, very good day. It was a very interesting and somehow attractive celebration, if I can say, and many people enjoyed it. Very many newspapers, as I said, have reported about this day. And these newspapers do not only reflect Russian world or Russian country friendly countries. No, even the adversaries of Russia had some eyes there in that Russian Navy day. As I said, the Russian Navy was invented or was founded in October of 1696 under the Tsar called Peter the Great. Okay, now let's talk about the second article I've said that we are discussing about. It is an article which reflects the Venezuelan elections. Of course, Nicolas Maduro has won it, has claimed the victory, not a very convincing victory, but after that there is something which is being done. I'm not very sure who is behind it, but it looks like there are two forces that are colliding in Venezuela. There is a force which is claiming the victory, that is the opposition of Nicolas Maduro, that is also claiming the victory, that they have also won those elections. But Nicolas Maduro has claimed his victory, a convincing one. Anyway, not so convincing, but somehow convincing victory that he won in Venezuela elections. Venezuela is a traditional ally of Russia and China, if I can say. If you remember, Venezuela has since long time ago been a communist state. It has been a communist state, so they have to be in the footsteps of communist countries. Those countries include Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China, and do not forget also India. So they have been having very good relationships with those countries, with the communist countries of the world. So they held elections recently that Nicolas Maduro claimed the victory in. There was another article that I've said that we are discussing about, which is the speech of Erdogan. Mr. Erdogan, the president of the Turkey. This is a country which has positioned itself as a peacemaker, as a neutral state, even if it is a member country of NATO. So this country has always been seeking to be to balance itself between Western world and Eastern world. So they want to say that they want to work for their own interests. They don't want to be participating in hate or in anything which doesn't benefit them. So that is what they have done in Ukraine with Russia, where they have provided some weapons to Ukraine. I think everyone can remember very well at the beginning of the war how the Bayraktar drones used by Ukrainian army had caused very many problems to the Russian army. But even though they were giving those drones to Ukraine, they kept their traditional trade and political relationship with Russia. They haven't imposed any sanctions on Russia, even though other member countries of NATO had set those and had adopted those sanctions. So they kept their trade with Russia, they kept their relationship with Russia, they kept friendly relationships and political relationships. They haven't really blamed Russia for what they have done. Of course, they blamed them officially, but their actions spoke otherwise. So in also another war which is taking place, I think it is Gaza-Israeli war, which started on from 7th October of last year, 2023, when Hamas launched attack in Israel, and of course taking many captives and killing many other people, many Israeli. The war broke down since that day. So Turkey has always said that they were behind Hamas. So they have always said that Israel was committing genocide or whatever. But you do not have to forget that they are also member of NATO countries, and I think almost all NATO member countries have backed Israel. So they have nothing to do. Now, recently, Erdogan said something very strange. He reminded the people of what they did, or of what Turkey did during Libyan crisis, during Azerbaijan and Armenia crisis in Karabakh, where Turkey sent troops to fight there. And he said that they may do the same even this time. If Israel doesn't back off, they may do what? They may have to invade Israel. They may have to send their army to Gaza to fight on the behalf of Palestinians. But this is something I don't feel like, or I don't think it's possible, considering what Israel means today to the world and who are backing Israel. Remember that many Arab states call Israel the little Satan, of course referring to the big Satan as USA. So they feel like Israel and USA they are always together in any war, in any conflict. You can't talk about Israel and forget to talk about USA. So this is a very big claim, but which I don't really think it's going to happen. It can't happen simply because Turkey, even though they are powerful, but they are members of a bloc that is powerful, and which is a military bloc. If that is a military bloc, so they cannot dare attack Israel, invade Israel on the behalf of those Palestinians. And I really don't even think it is going to solve anything anyway. It can't solve anything. If they were the ones to do it, they should have done it at the beginning of the war, simply because that is when Israeli army was doing very much damage and harm to Gaza people. So I don't think they are going to solve anything, simply because the destruction is almost over. So the war is almost at the end. So I don't see anything they will be going to solve to Palestinians, because a lot of people have already died. So there is nothing to solve for Erdogan. Anyway, these Israelis people also have tried to answer or to the claim, to reply to the claim of Erdogan. So what did they do? They only took a photo of Saddam Hussein and they put it next to Erdogan's photo. So, and they said nothing more than that. So which message did they want to give? I think they wanted to give a message to Mr. Erdogan that he has to back off, simply because he should be remembering what happened to Mr. Saddam Hussein, who was the president of Iraq. So he knows, or we all know what happened to him, what Americans did to him. So we've got to attack the last but not the least article of today. I've talked about Mr. Orban, Viktor Orban. That is the Prime Minister of Hungary. remembering that the prime minister in Hungary is the one having the power, or the executive power in his hands. They have a president who is honorary, if I can call that, if I can say that. The president is really not running the state. The state is actually run by the prime minister. The prime minister of Hungary has recently said that Russia is winning, or has won, against any sanctions. He has said that Russians have shown that they are capable of winning any kind of sanctions which can be put against them. He said, but we can remember that Russians have got already more than 19,000 sanctions anyway, up to now. So far, they have more than 19 sanctions given by G7 countries, European countries, and even USA itself. So this means if Russia hasn't gone down, but they have gone higher, this shows the power, the richness, how Russia can cope with any kind of sanctions, any kind of punishment put in place by those Western countries. So that's what Viktor Orban has said. The words which haven't gone down well with the Western leaders, because they have been calling him Putin's puppet. So it's a name that he doesn't even feel like it's a bad name for him today, because it's been a long time since he started to be given that name. So thank you so much. This is Tawal. I want to remind you that if you haven't yet done subscription, so you have to subscribe now. If you haven't liked our videos, go and watch, simply because we have very many educative videos. Let's talk about very many things happening these days about our Africa, our beloved Africa, and other topics that are concerning the world in general. Thank you so much. This is Tawal Africa, the Africa we all love. Please subscribe to our channel, Tawal Africa.